Well, hello everyone, and welcome to tonight's webinar. Tonight, as the title says, we're going to be talking about how to make your wardrobe work for you. So we'll be looking at all sorts of different tricks to help you understand ways of sort of getting a coordinated wardrobe, and also looking at the three big mistakes that I tend to see in my clients' wardrobes when I go into their wardrobes and sort them out. So, you know, I'll just give you a kind of the heads up in those three things that I tend to find happen in those situations, and then give you the solutions as to how to fix them as well, because that's the important thing, so you know how to fix those elements. And then at the end, I'll just be having a quick quickly talking about my Wardrobe That Works program as well. So let's just move on. Here we go. So if you've been on a webinar before, then you will have seen this slide before. If you've been on a webinar with me, you're going to be muted throughout the presentation. So, you know, if you've got a question, then please type it into the box on the right hand side, and I can have a look at those questions as we're going along. And I'll stop at various stages and just check the question box. So if there's something that comes up, just pop it in there and I'll stop, as I say, and just double check what's in there. So it does make my life a lot easier if you get involved. So I know that you're out there and interested in what's going on. So please ask questions, because it just makes, say, my life a bit easier. Okie doke. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Gail Morgan, and I've had the pleasure, oops, I don't know what that is. Oh, gosh, I hope it's not going to do anything scary tonight. There we go, hang on. My name's Gail Morgan. I've lost the dashboard, 2 seconds. Let me just see what I can find here. 2 minutes, sorry. Yep, there we are, back again. Don't know what happened there. Anyway, so I've had the pleasure of working with as an image consultant and trainer for 23 years, and I basically help women to feel more comfortable and confident in their clothes by simplifying the art of getting dressed. And I spend a lot of time rummaging in clients' wardrobes, and as I say, I'll be referring to these quite a lot during the call. Let me just see. I've got a question here. Let me just double check what that is. Oh, okay, brilliant. Katie's just telling me she can see me. That's great. Hear me. Thanks, Katie. Okay, so before we look at those three mistakes I mentioned earlier on, let's just look at what would make up a capsule wardrobe, because this is the kind of elusive thing that we read about in magazines, that we see that people sort of advise and espouse that we should have, and it actually is quite simple to do, and we'll look at some more capsule wardrobes later on this evening. But really, if you were looking for a definition, you could call it a small selection of clothes that complement each other and can be interchanged. And I think that's the important thing, that they can be interchanged. And so a lot of that, as you'll see, is down to colour. So if you work within a similar sort of colour family, it makes building that capsule a lot easier than if you've got sort of, you know, a variety of different colours that don't match and don't coordinate. But if you do have a capsule wardrobe, it allows you to change the way you wear your clothes, so that you can actually almost wear the same outfit, but with a slight tweak. So maybe some different accessories, or and then with that, then to different events. So it's really, you know, a great way of kind of having a key base to your wardrobe. And you may want to, or even start thinking about, creating this capsule wardrobe if you're starting a new job, if you're returning to work, or maybe you've lost or gained a lot of weight, so you can't fit into clothes that you had in the past. So it's almost like you're starting again, and it gives you that opportunity to do that. What is this? Right, sorry, I just keep getting something pop up on my screen, which doesn't normally come up. Okay, sorry. It's very frustrating. Sorry about this. There we go. Okay, so one of the main the problems that people have is that we tend to wear 20% of our clothes 80% of the time. So why would that be? And I've often found that it could be that it's the right colour, so people feel good in it, and as I say, it mixes and matches with other things in their wardrobe. It could be the right style for you, so that you feel good and comfortable and confident when you're wearing it. It could be that you've had compliments, which again could be a combination of the first two elements, and that's why that garment works for you. You just feel good, you just feel comfortable in the garments, and or it could be that they're just clean, so that's what you grab. But basically they're probably your favourites. And so when I go and sort someone's wardrobe out, I often have to say to them, make sure, dig out all the stuff that's in the washing basket, because those are the things that they're probably wearing most of the time. Oh, it's really annoying now. I don't know whether I want to do this because it might shut everything down. If it shuts down, right, hopefully that's fine. I'll stop doing it now. I don't know if you can see that, but I keep getting things popped up on my screen. So frustrating. Let's go. There we are. And hopefully that'll stop now, and it'll be in lovely Technicolor for you. Anyway, back to what we're doing. So, and they're favourites because they're easy. You know that they work, and it's also easy because it saves you having to experiment with different things. But the trouble is, those 20% can wear out because we're constantly wearing them. And so it's about giving you that chance to have a little bit of experimentation with some preparation. You could find different options that you still feel good in, that still give you all those other elements that they make you feel good, etc., with other garments. So, the problem that you have with having a disorganized wardrobe is that very often we forget about items. The number of times I've been in someone's wardrobe and they've sort of said, oh, wow, I'd forgotten about that. That's brilliant. And it's been a really fabulous garment, fabulous item that we've then been able to build lots of outfits from. So, if you've got a wardrobe like that, hopefully nobody has, in the picture, then you can see that it would make it very challenging to be able to create outfits if it's in that sort of situation. I can honestly say I've never been into anyone's wardrobe that looks quite that bad, but yeah, that would be scary, wouldn't it? So if your wardrobe is a bit disorganised, it could look boring because, again, you found those safe items that work and look good. So there's probably not a lot of variety in there. You could have just stuck to the same old, same old. It could be, that you panic buy because you can't find anything and you go mad and buy something completely out of character that you might later regret. Or you buy something beautiful, but there's nothing in your wardrobe that will work with it. So it just sits there gathering dust. The number of sparkly kind of skirts I've seen lurking in wardrobes because that have never been worn because the person has never been able to find a top to go with it. And so there's a lot of what I sometimes call orphans in the wardrobe that might be beautiful, but they haven't got a partner or a friend to work with. And so they just sit there and languish. And then repeat buy. So again, you might be repeat buying the same thing or similar garments. So, really, how many pairs of black trousers does anyone need? You probably may have some black trousers in your wardrobe, but we probably don't need that many. And you can ring the changes. So it's worth thinking along those lines as well. Okay, so the 3 big mistakes. So number 1 is not using colour properly. Number 2, no plan. 3 is hoarding. And I had to throw in 4 because often people don't have accessories, and that is another reason why those kind of disparate items in their wardrobe really don't work, because they don't have those linking accessories to pull the pieces together. Ooh, we don't want that yet. So the 3 big mistakes is that, as I say, bad use of colour. So you may have too much or even too little colour. If there's too much colour in your wardrobe, it just becomes a series of outfits, as they're very, because it could just be that they're very difficult to coordinate. So, if you've got something that's in, I don't know, mustard, and you've got something that's in bright pink, and you've got something in purple, and you've got something in red, then it can be difficult to kind of suddenly coordinate those things together. And so you end up just having a lot of outfits rather than that mix and match wardrobe. And often actually what I see in there is a lot of handbags and shoes, because the clients have had to buy bags and shoes to go with these outfits. Whereas actually when you've got your capsule wardrobe and you're working with coordinating colours, I'm not saying you don't have a few handbags or a few shoes, but they will all work together and they'll follow a similar theme. But they will still could be different colours, but they'll all work together. If you've got too little colour in your wardrobe, it could be a bit boring, and there probably isn't much variety, and probably based purely around the neutrals of black, grey, navy or white. It can obviously make life very simple, as there's little choice, and in theory there's even less chance of making a mistake. And it might work if you like that simplicity, and you could add interest with different fabrics and textures. And so this might appeal to a classic dresser. I can remember this from way back when, I don't know, I must have been about 13. Actually, she was my needlework teacher or textiles teacher, and she only ever wore black and tan. So her complete wardrobe was different garments in black and tan. And it was just simple for her. Whether that was her uniform, she only ever wore that to work, I don't really know. But, I just remember vividly and thought, how ingenious that this is what she'd done. But as I say, you just have to ring the changes with different textures and different garments and mix it like that. And then you may have heard of a woman called Mary Smith, who is sort of a Facebook marketing expert. She's Scottish, but she lives in America, and she became known for wearing turquoise. So in any of her photographs, certainly any that she uses for business, she's only ever wears turquoise. Again, could be a unique selling point for yourself, but just be aware that it probably could get a little bit boring if your whole wardrobe is turquoise. There might be days when turquoise might be a little bit might be difficult to wear. And then the second mistake is that people have no plan. And people making this mistake are the ones that have usually got lots of the orphans in their wardrobe. So you're buying on impulse, in desperation, or purely on price. And unfortunately, they're sort of the headless chicken kind of attitude, and will always be tempted by a bargain. So they may think that they're saving money by buying things in the sale, but actually if it doesn't go with anything else in your wardrobe, or it doesn't really fit properly, and you never wear it, then it's not really a bargain, is it? Because it's actually cost you money. And often, these people will have a wardrobe full of clothes but nothing to wear, because there's no coordination, there's no plan involved there. And also they often don't know what suits them, so they don't know what colours, styles, patterns, etc. work. So they'll, as I say, panic buy or go mad in the sales, but ultimately end up with lots of individual garments that don't really work together. And as I say, that can actually be a very expensive way of working. So the third mistake is hoarding, and you'll make this mistake if there's too much stuff in your wardrobe that you're keeping just in case. So you end up like that picture we saw earlier on, so you can't see the wood for the trees. and it's, you know, little wonder that you can't create any new outfits. And also, you know, that a lot of these people will be saving stuff for good. So they might have bought an outfit for a wedding or an event, but don't think that they could wear it to work or on, you know, going out for lunch or something like that. You know, there are lots of ways that you can wear these garments, because otherwise, again, they're just going to sit in the wardrobe and fester away and not actually be used. So, you know, enjoy your clothes right now and see if there's any way that you could, you know, wear a dress or a jacket and dress it down in a different way. Maybe wear the jacket with jeans or a dress with a cardigan and some flip-flops, and so it's not so formal as it might have been for that event. So, you know, what we're aiming for when we go into someone's wardrobe is that in an ideal world, you'll know that everything, that you could wear everything that's stored in your wardrobe at a particular point in time. So we don't need anything that's out of date, out of season, dirty, tatty, or just old, that's cluttering up the space. So, I mean, a couple of clients have sort of expressed this sentiment to me afterwards, that they've said that once we've done a wardrobe read, they can actually breathe again and feel excited about the clothes, because they can actually now see the possibilities, whereas in the past it was just too much stuff in there. And then, as I say, my extra little mistake is the no accessories, because really having some accessories are like the lifeblood of a flexible and interesting wardrobe. They are just a simple, easy way of adding colour, pattern, texture to a plain outfit. So I've talked about this before in one of my previous webinars. So if you missed it and would like access to the recording, just let me know and I can send you details. Okay, so how do we solve these mistakes? Okay, so colour. Obviously in my work, then we'd look at colour analysis, we'd look at someone's personal colouring. But if you haven't had your colours done, then even so, just think about colour families, think about which colours go together. Because it makes it a lot easier to coordinate outfits and to build a capsule wardrobe if the colours work with one another. So if you've had your colours done, as I say, you'll understand this, and as part of the Wardrobe that Works programme, we're going to look at personal colour and which colours work well together, so you can start to create these groups of garments together, which have got, you know, will potentially have got the most flattering shades for you. However, to get you started tonight, think about the neutral colours in your wardrobe. So these really are the building blocks of your wardrobe and form the basis of any capsule that you're going to create. We are going to add more colour in there, don't worry, but if you've got the core base garments that are listed on this slide in one colour, then any other colour you introduce into that wardrobe will work with those garments. And you might think, gosh, that's an awful lot of items to have there. But you've probably already got these items in black anyway. And if black isn't your best colour from a personal colour point of view, then you can still utilise those items for the time being, and then start to introduce maybe some other neutral colours. So as I said before, and often you can mix other colours with a neutral as well, even if they aren't part of the same colour family. So neutrals, as I said before, are black, grey, navy, brown, something like camel maybe, white and tan. So all of those could form a basis. And you think, well, if you had a navy or you had tan as a base, there are lots of other colours that you could put with that would then work with it. So with the neutrals, pick a maximum of 3 of these colours to have in your wardrobe, and then start to build these. And you might not have all the items that are listed there, but if you've got a few of those items, it just makes it a lot easier. So, for example, you were using, for example, navy is my core neutral. So, if I've got plenty of navy things in my wardrobe, then I know that I could then mix that with any of my pinks and greens and purples and blues, and it'll work. And it just acts as a kind of a foil for the other colours that I'm going to be using in there. And so that's kind of the thing to look for with colour. So you need key garments in these neutral colours, and depending on your lifestyle will depend on the type of jacket, skirt, trousers that you're going to have in these colours. And these key garments might include all these items here. So if you have this foundation of key items in the colour, in these colours, then you just add them together, and you then add different colours in there, and you can start to create outfits. So the easiest way to create a minimal capsule wardrobe is around 2 neutrals and initially 3 other colours. And this is the perfect way to pack a suitcase, which again I've talked about in a previous webinar. Okay, I can just see there's a question here, 2 ticks. Let me just double check this because I think it's to do with colour. Where are we? How would I know which is my colour? Will there be a webinar for that? Okay, Sahib, I'm not going to be doing a webinar on that at the moment, but we do cover it in the wardrobe that works in a bit more detail. So if you joined us for that, then that would be, you'd find out there. But I'm not planning on doing it at the moment, maybe in the future. Okay, let's move on. There we go. So the answer to the second question, no plan. Everything does come together with a plan. And if you're working within a colour palette, this will immediately help you to solve this problem, as you won't be tempted to go away from those colours. And also, if you're working within the colour range, it also helps cut costs and decrease the number of shoes and bags you need to buy, because things will start to coordinate together much better. So again, for example, if I go back to me, then for navy shoes, then I know that as long as I've got navy shoes, I've got silver shoes, I've got grey shoes, I've got off-white shoes, then that's pretty much going to go with most of the things in my wardrobe. I don't need to have brown or tan or even black shoes in my wardrobe anymore, because they're not going to go with things that I have, all my clothes. So it saves me having to go off and buy all those different clothes, those shoes that would only go with one particular outfit. So it saves you an enormous time of effort and money and cost, obviously. And then if you understand your body shape and the styles of clothes that suit you, then again, you can become much more discerning, and you are much more selective about what you buy. And I think that's the key thing. When you know what works for you, then you are much more selective about what you choose to buy. And if you know the type of clothes that work for you, because you know your style personality, you're sort of working on a personal brand, it helps you to understand which clothes work for you. So think about how you want to be perceived, how you want to be seen. And I often use this as a sort of guide with clients, is if someone had to if someone else was describing you, what 3 words would you like them to use? And then how would those words look in a garment, potentially? So it might be that you want to look professional, you want to look authoritative, you want to look maybe dramatic. So think about what might those clothes that would conjure up those 3 adjectives. And so you probably wouldn't be in a pastel smock dress to try and project those 3 words, would you? You'd be looking for something more structured, probably slightly deeper or stronger in colouring, or more contrasting colouring, and I'd say something more tailored probably. So it just kind of gives you an idea of thinking how you could do that. And obviously, if you have a plan, if you've looked at your wardrobe, which we're going to look at in a moment, if you're starting to build your capsule wardrobe, if you know where the gaps are, then when you go shopping, you've got a plan of campaign. So it's not an aimless wander through the sale racks looking for things that have had the biggest markdown. It's actually looking, well, actually, I could do with that because it's going to fill a gap that I've already got in my wardrobe. And if you're prepared, as I say, there won't be a panic actually of what to wear to a special occasion, because you've probably already got something suitable in your wardrobe and you know what will work. And all is calm in your wardrobe, because you know that you've planned, you've got things that you need, you know the sort of, you think about your lifestyle, what sort of garments you need for that, so that instead of as I say, doing a desperate buy, a desperate shop just before an event, you can plan ahead, or you've actually already got something in your wardrobe that will work. And then hoarding. So this might appear to be the easiest mistake to solve. You could just throw everything out, which might not be quite the best way of things to do. But until you've done some of the prep work with the planning and the colour and the styling that you think will work for you, it could just be, you could throw it out and then just start again just disastrously. And also you could end up discarding something that's brilliant for you. So one of the easiest ways to sort your wardrobe out and to eliminate any excess garments is to create 3 piles of clothes. And so to give yourself time, to do this properly, so don't rush at it. And really it's just like, look at your wardrobe, and you've got to be brutally honest with yourself. And so the reject or retire pile, this is the pile of clothes. These are the clothes that you shouldn't wear any longer because they're too old, or they're out of date, or they're a bit tatty, or they've stained, or you haven't worn them for over a year, or they're just not you anymore. We've all had them. There are things that we've had in our wardrobe that we've loved and worn, but then actually, we've moved on, our lifestyle might have changed, our figure might have changed, we've grown a bit older and we don't feel that it's suitable, or we just don't like, we're not in love with them anymore, or the styles have moved on. So it's fine, and things with that, then that's absolutely fine, because you've loved them, you've had, wear out of them, you've enjoyed wearing them, so that's good. But it's time to move on, and we want current, flattering clothes that you're going to love and enjoy wearing now. And you're probably not wearing many of these clothes anymore anyway, so getting rid of them is only going to create space for any new purchases, or allow you to see what you've actually got. Sometimes you might find what I call sentimental clothes in there. So there are things that probably don't work for you, or you wouldn't wear on an everyday basis. Say like your bridesmaid's dress, or your wedding dress, or something like that. Then with these garments, then store them somewhere else. Don't keep them in your everyday wardrobe, because A, they're going to take up space, and B, they're just going to get in the way of you being able to see what you've got. So you can store them in specialist storage bags in the loft, and so that you've still got them, but you don't have to have them in your wardrobe, in your everyday wardrobe. Now the recycle pile is really clothes that would suit someone else much better. So they're probably good quality, and they may well have not been worn very much, but they could go to a friend or a dress agency, or if you're any good on eBay, you could sell them on eBay. And the reasons you might reject these garments, they may still even have the labels on them. They don't fit you properly, or they're the wrong size, they're the wrong shape or colour for you now. So again, you may have worn them quite a bit, but they're just not you anymore. But they're still wearable for somebody else, and so it's often just nice to give them to a better home, and where they're going to be loved. So again, you could send them to a good quality kind of charity shop as well. And then we've got the retain pile. Okay, so the clothes in this pile are going to be the garments that you love to wear and that you look good in. They fit you, they make you feel fabulous, you'll get compliments in them. And so, that's what our wardrobe should be like. We should be able to look in our wardrobe and see the fun in there, and be able to enjoy our clothes just like we used to when we were dressing up as kids. And so there is an extra pile within this retain pile, and this is, if you need to repair or revamp some garments. So these are the ones that maybe need altering, or they need cleaning, or they need a button sewing on them. They've got potential, but they just need that stain removing or the hem sewn up. But do make sure that you do it whilst you're kind of in the mood to do that. So really it's about going through this process with all the clothes in your wardrobe, in your drawers, in the shelves, on cupboards, in different rooms, And then you could look at your accessories and do a similar sort of thing and just sort them through. And I think, you can see that you need to spend some time doing this, but if you can, it really does make a massive difference to how you see your clothes and your wardrobes. And then I don't know if anyone does this, but organise your clothes to garment type in your wardrobe, and so that have as many clothes as possible visible, because if you've got them on, all your hanging stuff on. I once had a client, she had I don't know, it must have been half a dozen garments on one hanger. It was one of these space saver hangers, but actually it just meant that she never wore the 3 pairs of trousers that were at the bottom of the pile on the hanger, because she didn't know she'd forgotten she had them. So once we actually took them off all these different hangers and put them on separate hangers, we could see what she had, and it made it much easier for her to be able to create some outfits. So just make sure you can see them. And then store your clothes properly. So use decent coat hangers, use coat hangers that are not going to poke holes in your garments. So really the metal coat hangers from dry cleaners need to go in the bin, or they can sometimes work on men's shirts, but that's about it. You wouldn't want to use them for anything else. And actually the best coat hangers are from Primark, and you can get them just by the Primark desk, and they're about £3 for 10. They're velvet coat hangers, and they're slim, but so you can fit lots of garments in your wardrobe, so they're better than the wooden coat hangers from that point of view. Wooden coat hangers are great for jackets, so yes, use those for that, but otherwise use these velvet coat hangers, because your garments don't slip off the coat hangers, and as I say, you can get plenty of things into your wardrobe as well. And the other key thing to remember with wardrobe sorting is to take anything out of your wardrobe that is the wrong weather season. So today, at the moment, and especially today in the UK, when the temperatures have been in the mid-30s, very rare, but it has been absolutely boiling today, the clothes in your wardrobe should reflect this. So really, would you have wanted to open your wardrobe door today and seen your boots and your woolly polo neck jumpers, because it would just make you hot looking at it. So if you can, at certain times of the year, then spring's, autumn, go and have a look through your wardrobe and take out the things and that are not going to be appropriate for the coming weather season, and again store them away somewhere, either it's under the bed, on top of the wardrobe, in the loft. Put them into one of those sealed bags and keep them out of the way. And so, because there are lots of clothes that we can wear all year round due to central heating and air conditioning. So it's not going to be all your clothes that you're shifting backwards and forwards unless you live in a very different climate. But, just the flip-flops and the shorts and the woolly jumpers and the boots can probably do that swap over. Okay, so all of this allows you to give you some space to see what you actually own and to see what's missing, so that you can then plan your shopping list, or your wish list, if you like, because that's really what we're looking for. And then with your accessories, once we've sorted all your clothes into colour families and created some outfits, then obviously choosing the right scarf, necklace, handbag, shoes, or even lipstick will become much easier. Okay, so just double check there's no more questions. No, that's fine, it's okay. Do ask if you've got anything. Okay, so now just looking at creating a capsule wardrobe. So in order to create this capsule wardrobe, it is important to clear away the clutter and to make a plan, and then you can build a selection of flexible, versatile garments that are based around the colours and styles that will work for you and your lifestyle. So if you work within a small colour group, you can create that flexible wardrobe and actually have more choice than if you had lots and lots of different unmatched pieces. So hopefully I've kind of that's gone into your head, and you can see that why that's important. Now I've put this up here, so this is a working wardrobe if you had to wear a suit, or if you were very kind of more corporate. Again, you can swap the jackets for more knitwear. You could put cardigans and jumpers in there if you didn't have to wear a jacket to work. And go with whatever the dress code is in your industry, in your company. But think about how you come across, because we spend a lot of time in work, and it's where we hopefully earn our money, and so where we have the most influence as well. So just be careful that how you come across in a work environment. But you can see if you've got these few basic garments, then that will help you mix and match and start to create different looks. So with this very basic wardrobe here, you could easily probably, and if they were all within different, let's say different cut, the same sort of color palette, then you could have easily two weeks plus different options of outfits here, probably about 3 weeks outfits, and it would all look slightly different. If you don't like wearing skirts, then obviously you can make more trousers or add another dress and swap it around. But it's really just giving the idea that, having about 4 bottoms pieces, so skirts and trousers, or maybe a pair of culottes at the moment, if that's what you want to wear, or a dress, then, you can add and take away from those elements. But it just gives you a bit of flexibility there. But if you were working, say, within that palette, and it was, I don't know, black, grey and red and white, then you could see how you could mix and match all those different items to start creating different looks. And then, And then if you've got a more relaxed capsule wardrobe, say you don't have to be very dress, you can dress more smart casual, or you're at home at the moment, either retired or stay-at-home mum, or you work part-time and you kind of want to look at different wardrobes, then it's very similarly, but you still got 3 jackets, but they'd be slightly different. There'd be denim, or it might be a cord jacket, it might be a linen jacket at the moment. Again, you can add cardigans and knitwear into there, different styles of dresses, different types of trousers or skirts, so it doesn't have to be very structured or formal. And this is you're still going to be able to create a capsule wardrobe working around those 2 neutral colours and potentially 2 or 3 other colours that will work with those colours. And that's how you start to build this wardrobe that really will coordinate and work for you. And they all kind of interchange as well, because once you've got the colour palette you're working with, it's amazing how they do work together. So it's about making it all personal and looking at your clothing preferences and your lifestyle, because if you're running around looking after toddlers, you're going to be looking at different kind of material and different kind of garments than someone who's maybe a retired lady who's going out to lunch and going to the golf club. So there's lots of different things. It depends on your lifestyle as to what those actual garments will be and what they look like, and the fabrics and textures, etc., that they are. So really it's really, really important for you to think your wardrobe is unique, but it's important that you understand which garments are right for you and, say, for your lifestyle, budget and personality, so that you really can create that wardrobe that works for you. So let me just check any more questions. Oh, okay. Must be covering it all. So if you've got any other questions, then please shout so that I can help you on the call tonight. Because now, so as you would expect, we're going to cover all these aspects of the wardrobe mistakes on the 8-step wardrobe that works program, as well as lots of other things. So it's just about looking at all the different aspects that go into creating garment outfits and clothes, and just understanding all those different nuances that mean that we can sort of get the clothes that are right for us. So the wardrobe that works is my signature program, and it's all about creating a wardrobe that works for you, your body, your lifestyle and your budget. So I'm just going to take a little, as promised, I'm just going to take the opportunity to briefly talk about this programme, because I've also got an offer on it at the moment. So if you were interested in it, there's £50 off the programme for the next couple of days. So we've got, it's really been designed to help women who are fed up with wasting time and money on disastrous clothing choices and want to take control of their wardrobes once and for all. So, you know, I constantly see clever, competent and amazing women defeated by their wardrobes. And I wanted to put together a simple and affordable process so that would allow them to understand their clothes and to increase their confidence, because really that's what it's all about, isn't it? So the 8-step programme covers all the essential elements that you'd need to know, including your personal style, colour advice, shape, fashion trends, accessorising, underwear and swimwear, managing your wardrobe, grooming, and how to shop successfully. So module 1, we're looking at where you are now, what might be holding you back, and how you'd like to feel about your clothes. And so this stage is vitally important because as you evolve during the programme and have an understanding of your personal style, it will really help you to feel comfortable in your clothes. And then we do colour, which, as I say, is the basis of any versatile wardrobe. So when you understand which colours flatter you and how to build your wardrobe around a few key colours, you'll be able to shop quickly and confidently, and that coordination will be much easier as well, and it will allow you to create new outfits from your existing clothes plus in the future as well. So if you acknowledge your body shape and understand the clothes that fit and flatter you, it is actually quite life-changing. I've had a blog on one of my recently. One of my clients just sort of said, you know, once she realised that this was her shape and this was what she was, and once she understood that and appreciated it, she's learned to love her body rather than be frustrated by it, which is what I think we do most of the time, because we sort of go, oh, I wish I was this, I wish I looked like her. But actually, you know, let's just love what we've got, because there's no way in a million years that I'd ever have the body shape of Kate Middleton, no matter how much I dieted or did anything. So I think once you've got that appreciation, it helps you to understand and to start to love your body and what it can do for you. And also it helps you, you know, get the compliments you deserve, and a lot of the time it stops you wearing clothes that hide your body, because you embrace your natural body shape. Accessories, as I said before, they're vital for outfit creation. So, you know, accessorizing properly is truly the secret ingredient to simple style, so that you can stand out for all the right reasons. And you know, then module 5, all about underwear and swimwear. So again, having the right foundations in place will give you confidence whatever you wear. So, you know, whatever you're doing, whether you're going to a party or whether you're sunbathing on holiday, you know, if you're wearing the right underwear for the party and the swimwear for the holiday, then you're going to feel much better. Wardrobe management, so we've talked a little bit about that tonight. Go together in a little bit more detail about creating that capsule wardrobe. And you, as part of you would do this along with everyone else to sort of find out how to discard the clothes that need to go, but give you more outfit options. Successful shopping. So shopping may fill you with absolute dread and bewilderment, but by this stage it'll seem simple, and you'll actually be looking forward to going shopping. We make it fast, easy and enjoyable, and so you're not going to be intimidated by the shops anymore. And you'll stop spending your weekends traipsing around the shops getting more and more overwhelmed and upset, because you can be laser focused on knowing the things that you're looking for. And then at the end, we look at, you know, what to buy, and now you know what to buy and how to wear it. We'll sort of look at the importance of grooming and hair and makeup and adding that into the mix as well. So as you can see, very comprehensive programme looking at all the different elements that will really help build that wardrobe and all the clothes that will work for you. So there are 3 elements to the programme. So there's a module every week. And so the first module is available to you as soon as you register. We have a fortnightly call so that you can discuss each module. You can talk about your changing wardrobe. You can talk with other people that are going through the process at the same time as you as well. So the next call is on Tuesday, the 14th of July. And as I say, we can, in that hour, we just talk about anything that's come up for you during the first two modules that you've been starting to work with. And then if you can't make the call for any reason, then they will be recorded, so we send out a copy of that. And then there's a private Facebook group that you'll be invited to join as well. So with me and then the virtual support team that you'll be working alongside. And again, you'll have access to that as soon as you register. So the modules are spread out over 8 weeks so that you aren't overwhelmed, and the topics are broken down into easy to digest and manageable chunks. And so, it's when you register, as I said, you'll be sent a link to access the website where all the modules are stored. Every week you're going to be asked to watch and read, and some of the information is, you've got some homework to do in that time as well. So there'll be a variety of tasks. And then in the Q&A session, you sort of discover how you can implement your new knowledge and share it with everyone else. And if you can't make the session, as I said, you'll get the recording. So a wardrobe transformation, you'll be supported through this and be able to learn at a steady pace, whilst knowing that in less than 2 months, you'll have created the style foundations for the rest of your life. How amazing is that? So how much is this life-changing program? So I say normally it's £129, but until Friday it's only £79. And then I've also got a VIP offer, which includes a colour analysis for just 5 people, obviously from a timing point of view, which is only £129. If you're local to me, then we can do the colour analysis face-to-face, but otherwise we can do it via Skype, and I can talk you through that, and that will include a colour swatch as well. So you'll have a swatch of your different colours that are right for you to use when you go shopping. And I've also got a bonus prize, a secret prize, for anyone who signs up in the next 24 hours, which is really good. So it really helps kind of pull together, certainly on the accessories side, gives you some ideas of how to utilise some of your accessories. So if you want to find out more, then please pop over to the website. So that's thewardrobethatworks.com. I will send a link to that in a follow-up email to you as well. So just to recap, we've got the 8 modules over 8 weeks, and the next Q&A call is in 2 weeks' time on Tuesday the 14th. And I say, you get to ask questions and learn from everyone else as well as me during the group calls and through the Facebook group. So I'm there to help you. And, with previous people who've been on the programme, we've had all sorts of things from finding khaki bikinis to, finding the right coat for somebody. So, it's lots of practical advice, and people are out there helping you as well. So it's a good fun programme to kind of follow through with that. Okay, so are there any other questions before we finish for tonight? If you have, then please pop your question in soon. Otherwise, it's been a pleasure to talk to you tonight. And as I say, if you've got any other questions, then please email me, and I shall speak to you soon. All right, bye for now.